Hi everyone. Right, I'm going to show you how to make a small box, and this is the bottom measures 3 by 3 inches. Then you're going to need 4 sides that measure 3 inches across by 2 inches in depth. Okay, and then we're going to do a wraparound lid, so I'll show you that in a minute. First of all, what you're going to do, you need to make sure you space these out enough so that when you bend them, it looks so neat inside. And then we have to cover the outside, of course, which I'm going to do with the darker paper. So make sure you leave a good inch on the top side. Sorry, I'm going to show you this. Oops. A good inch. Where you've placed this, make sure you've left an inch on the left hand side and the top, and then position your pieces well. And then what you're going to do, when you've cut all them pieces out, you're going to glue them on to your card. And this is where's my glue? There we are. I'm just using this tacky glue. Yeah, make sure it's fine. And that is my spike. Here it is. Just put a little bit of a bigger hole in the top. That's fine. And then what you do is take your piece, and once your glue starts to come out, mine's a new bottle, so try and get as close to the edge as you can. Okay. So what I'm going to do then is just to take one of these little handy rollers and just roll that. Just make sure it's doing what it's supposed to do. And what we're going to do is cut this out. But you need to leave a good gap around the edges. Now what you're going to do is you need to take off these corners. So I've got a little ruler here that's going to help me do that. And all you do, place your ruler across the edge, leaving a little bit of a gap here. Okay? You do that on all of your corners. Okay, and all you're going to do is to chop them ends off that you've just marked out. Level this one up and that one. Okay, and what you're going to do is fold this up to make sure that you've actually, oh sorry, you need to snip into the corners there as well. Okay, so then you can fold that so it's nice and neat. You just need to fold these bits over, and when you do that, you just snip that where I told you to cut it, you know, to leave the excess bit. When you fold that over, you just bend that in with your thumb, and then when you fold that piece over, you have a nice neat edge. So they're all going to want to be done in a minute. You see what I'm doing? When you fold it over, it comes over this bit, and you nick it in with your thumb. And there you go, you've got the base of your box. So you're turning that upwards, like that. And then what we've got to do is to glue that before we add the paper. And then inside you've got a perfectly, clean box. Okay? So next what we're going to do, I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on mine. I do like to do that to make sure they stick. Don't worry about the outside, but just a little touch of glue to make sure they stick. Just help support it while I put the paper on. So just using the hot glue gun. Oops, didn't quite get that on. That's it. Not that right. Just hold that in place again. It's just a smattering of glue. You don't need a lot at all because the paper is going to hold it. Just make sure you've got it level, that's all. Okay. There you go. And there's your box that you've done so far. Just make sure it's twisted right. Yeah. Now what we're going to do is cover the outside. So for that, turn your paper upside down so you've got the inside out at the top. And then we're going to cover this. So obviously you know you're going to need a good inch all the way around, like that. So what I'm going to do is, this time I'm going to draw it. Don't forget, this was 2 inches or 2 1/4 inches. Put it this way. So it's 2 1/4 inches. Right, I'm back for part 2. Now what I've done is, it's actually been drying, so I'm just going to pop a little bit more glue on. Just, you need to glue one side first. So I'm just going to revamp this little bit of glue here on this side. Now while you're leaving that to dry a little bit, spread it out with a paintbrush or something. I've chosen to cover mine with this paper instead of the other, because I just wanted a little bit of flour to it. So what I've done is, it's 12 by 12. I've cut it into 3 equal pieces, so that's 4 across, 12 by 12 down. I've marked them off, each piece, with an inch line. So an inch in, either side, doesn't matter. Mark it off an inch, because that's going to be your guide for popping this back and covering this. And all you need to do, let your glue soak a little bit, and then pop that on that line, like that. Anywhere on that piece, it doesn't matter, you can start at the end if you wanted, or whatever. Because you're not going to use all of the paper. And just press that on the bottom here. You just press that in there, just to keep it, this is the tricky bit with it, but just flip that back with your finger. And then what you're going to do, put plenty of glue. Oh, do you know, these when you use these bottles of glue, it's don't come out very often, very quick. Oh, just pop a load on there. Right, again using your paintbrush, because that'll get in all the nooks and crannies. And you've got nice neat corners and a nice inside box like that. Okay, now what we do exactly the same with this, because we are going to cover the base. Okay, nice little box, but we've not finished, because our next thing is put that to one side. Now you need 2 squares that are 3.1 centimetre, so that's 3 inches 1 centimetre square. That's for the lid, same for the base. You need a back panel which is 3.1 centimetre by 2, that's the depth of it, and then you need the front flap which is 3.1 by however long you want it. And I'm just going to check, because when that, excuse me, when that sits on there, that is the back panel which will sit on there, and then the lid goes on like that. I'll show you, like that, and then that is your front panel that sits there. So what we need to do now, I'm going to cover it with this flowered stuff and show you how we do that. Oh, there we go, pop it in there. So you're going to need your 12 by 12, that's your pattern paper again, okay? And what we're going to do, we start with the base, which is like that. Then you have your side panel, like that. Then you're going to have your lid, like that, and then you're going to have the front panel. So you've just got enough paper with a 12 by 12 to do that. Okay? So let's get going. I mean, I just cut a rectangle and then snip the corners off. Cut one off, and then turned it over and matched it on the other side so the actual lid front matches. Okay, like that. I'm just going to roller them, make sure they're nice and firm, like that. And what you're going to need to do is to trim this, like that. Okay, and then you need to cut a V. You just snick the V in between each of these panels. Okay, so cut your V out, and then you glue the edges and glue them all down like that. So then you've got, it's movable like that in sections. So I'm just going to finish that. So I'm hoping to get this done now. This is the last part of the video. Now what I'm going to do with it, we need to cover this. So I am going to use a little bit of what I used in the middle of the book. Just enough left to do that. So I'm just going to quickly cut this by hand, following the dotted line to keep it straight. Think it's wide enough? Perfect, just right. On there, okay, and all I have to make sure is that I'm just going to snip this and then I'll shorten it like that. I mean, you will measure it and everything. I've not got time to do that at the moment. Like that. But what you need to do now is, I might be able to use this actually, is just, you need to just score it slightly. And you've got it on like that, and then run this with the brayer. And that will, once it's scored, you might need to do it a couple of times, like that. Just score it. It will, when it's attached, go into place. I just hold mine like that and lift it up, like that. Just like that. Okay. So once you've got that, then you need to take hold of your box, and I've pre-cut some felt that's going to go on there. I'm just going to shut this down because the box leaves a bit of a draft. So what I'm going to do now is to glue the bottom of the box like that. Use my paintbrush again. Up. Don't go to the edge unless you're covering the whole of the box at the bottom. You need quite a bit on because you're going to cover it. I'm covering mine with felt, but obviously you can cover it with what you want. So that's what you do. You've got that. Like that. Just going to put the brayer over it a little bit to help stick. Oops. Help that stick. Silly hole. Don't put that on yet. What you need to do is to glue the bottom again. Forgot what I was doing then, because if you're doing an ordinary box with just a lid that opens from the top, then you need to do that next. But I'm doing a fold over. Sorry about that. Like that. Sorry. So we put this on the edge. Remember, it's a little lip because you made it slightly bigger all the way around, only slightly. Like that. And that's your box. Made like that. Now, that will dry obviously. Line that up. And you've got that little box. Like that. And you can either glue the side and leave it like that, which I'm going to do. But you see how neat you've got that box? Like that. You might need to put a little bit of pressure on it. Now what you need is a little bit of Velcro. Which I have a strip of Velcro that I use. This is a tricky bit, is getting the backing off it. I hate doing this. One. And pop that onto there. I mean, I've not exactly got that neat, but you will when you do yours. Because this is sticky back Velcro. And you can peel a little bit off. Okay, and then what you're going to do is push that onto there. And you've got that lined up. And there's your little box. You do need to let it dry. Anyway, we'll let that dry on there. Now you can put the felt onto the bottom. Just to make it stick. And then we're going to put some feet on this and a handle. Now what I've done, I'm going to have to be quick. I've got some of these, and you get them at, where'd you get them from? Wrote it down here so I didn't forget. Hobbycraft. And they're like little buttons. So what I've done is, I've already painted 4 of these for the feet. And you don't paint that because otherwise it won't stick. But I am going to show you how to do it. I've got this that I use for fossils. Quite a good spike. Pop that in the middle. Press it firmly down. A lot easier if you can do something like this. Pop it onto there. And then paint it. And you spin it while you're doing it. And because you're only doing the sides and the base, it's quite handy. And then they dry so easy and so quick. I'm going to just leave that one for a minute to dry while I glue the feet on. And I'm going to hot glue these feet. What have I got? 1128. I just think I've got time to do this. Oh, don't play up now. So I'm just going to pop the feet on. And because they're all the same size, you don't need to measure or mess around with them. Just press down on there, and then we're going to fix this one to the front. Get it in position. like that. And there you are, you've got yourself a little box. And see if I can just, obviously I need to glue that and let that dry. But there you go, simple as that. Great little box, and you can do a little mini to go inside it.